History is often told as something already settled, a sequence of events inherited by those who come after. A gathering held recently at the New York offices of the Bahá'í International Community invited another way of considering what a people inherits. Not a completed story to be passively received, nor a perfect vision to be preserved, but an unfolding process in which each generation is called to discern what to hold, what to deepen, and what the present moment asks of them. Coinciding with the anniversary of the signing of the United Nations Charter, the forum explored the role of the United States in the community of nations and what its future contribution might require. The gathering concluded a series of public forums convened by the U.S. Baha'i Office of Public Affairs, following the release of A Common Endeavor, Realizing the Promise of America, a message addressed by the Baha'is of the United States to all who hold the promise of America in their hearts.
As was mentioned, the Baha'i community of the United States has offered a common endeavor as a tool, an instrument to contribute to this conversation that is going to have to be ongoing about America being able to achieve its promise.
Convenings like this that bring us back to the core values that when you strip away the polarization and the divisiveness is what joins us as Americans. These kind of core concepts of freedom and equality that the Baha'i talk about, these are not self-executing. These are for each generation to take on their own and move them forward.
The theme that we landed on for this message was the idea of spiritual renewal. That it's a moment when the country is really interested and seeking and thirsty for a conversation about the values and the spiritual principles and qualities that underpin the founding of this nation, and that maybe we should take time to think about what they mean for us.
I'm very moved to be in this room, which does actually reflect so much of the strength of diversity of religious traditions and peoples of the world, and the idea that there's a oneness in that, and that who we are as a country is a statement about committing to that being a peaceful and liberatory and flourishing endeavor.
I think it's a lovely statement right there, because I think it really does go to the value of public service. We all have a very active role. It doesn't matter who you are, you have a responsibility to make the world a little bit better in whatever your little corner of the world is. And pay attention to what your neighbors are saying, and really think about how you can make our democracy move forward in a positive way. Every time I talk to somebody, they say, my mother had this conversation, my grandmother sometimes at this point, and they'll say, and you knew she was really listening to me. And so, that's the thing that I think that is missing from a lot of conversations, is when you are engaging with someone who is not quite, they're not in the same space with you, you still need to sort of stop and really sort of burrow into where their head is, their headspace is.
We can no longer think of obviously the Earth as an inert set of resources and a backdrop, right, to what we're doing with the global economy. It's alive. It's very much, animated with a certain life force. And I love that the Baha'i document, and this is great, the Common Endeavor highlights spirituality and spiritual renewal, because I think that we can look at that life force within the natural world as spirit. If we recognize that spirit, the spirit of the land, and as that is partly the renewal that we need.